I was gonna post another video, but I'm gonna look at it more before I post it, just because I take the topic that I'm about to post very seriously, because it's about libraries and libraries that I want to visit all over the world, because I'm making an actual comprehensive list, alphabetically, the countries alphabetically anyway. First up is Australia, so I'll do all the territories and sections, but I started with Sydney, and I have a list. I did this whole video about it. I derailed so much because I was so excited about some of the other things that I found, because I was looking up libraries, but I also looked up museums, because if I'm going to go to another country, I'm going to do all of the things that I love, like art and museums and food, like so much. Like, I love food so much. And of course, like libraries. Like, I get excited seeing libraries in the US. Like, it could be like literally just a random public library, and I'll be happy, like, because that's how much I'm into books and reading and stuff. Yeah, so I was gonna post that video, but I need to look at it again and make sure that I said all the things correctly because I was looking at sites on my computer when I was recording. I may have messed up some of the information, so I'm probably going to redo that. So I'll do this video talking about a topic that honestly, I got teased a lot when I was younger for liking plushies, for liking stuffed animals. I had some stuffed animals that my dad had given me and my sister that he had when he was younger. So they're like legacy stuffed animals. Like, they're really old, and those are carefully in storage, like proper, like sealed and everything. So I'm keeping those safe. But I continued to have plushies and really love stuffed animals and plushies. And I think it's become more widely acceptable that, adults have plushies and stuff. But when I was younger, like in high school, I was talking to someone, I don't remember who, but I was just talking to someone about comfort items. And I had a baby blanket that was a comfort item. And it's blue. It's blue, but it's got like little teddy bears, and it's got like little alphabet, like ABC blocks, and I think like a couple other, like a rocking or something. I think there's like some symbols on it. I was talking about how that's a comfort item, as well as stuffed animals. And I still had at that time a particular stuffed animal, and someone was like making fun of me for it, like, oh really, grow up. And it really is along the same vein of the whole, like, oh, you're into Disney, like, grow up. Like, come on, it's for all ages. Like, it's a comfort item. Disney is for all ages. Toys, Legos, all that stuff, like, it's for all ages. It's, who says that you have to abandon that kind of stuff when you get to a certain age? And honestly, I mean, really, are we going by like the very flawed human logic kind of age, or are we going by a hobbit age? Because I would rather go by a hobbit age, because honestly, that's much better, though I still think it's too young. Because no one has their shit together that early in life, really. But either way, so someone was making fun of me and really had this whole, like, why are you still into this? It's not so much that I was still into it, is that it still brings me comfort, so therefore I'm keeping it. And I'm the same way with my kids. I honestly, I have this problem where they want something, like, I say no to them a lot, but there are some things that I just have this habit of, like, oh, they want this, so I'm gonna buy it. And I shouldn't, but I do. One very, very good and solid example is my oldest really being into plushy unicorns, and he still collects them, and that's cool, that's fine. But like, I've asked him repeatedly, like, okay, are you still into this? Because if he was, then if I see a unicorn plushie, I'm going to get it for him. Not like a huge one, because we do not have the room and I do not have the funds for like those big ones. But like those like miniature ones that you find like at Walmart or whatever, those miniature ones that you find like in the kids section, like with pillows or bedding or even toys. Sorry, toy section, all that kind of stuff. So like I just have this thing where I will go and buy like a unicorn plushie, but now youngest has started getting into unicorn plushies, so he wants unicorn plushies too. So now I have to ask him, like, do you prefer certain pattern? Do you prefer certain color or whatever? Like, I'm trying to get the details because I want to be as accommodating as possible. Like, it's like, I shouldn't be doing this. I should not be spending so much money. But you know what? They collect things. I collect things. Really, how can I say no to that when I will justify my spending of rubber duckies, like plastic duckies? That's like one of my biggest collections, is that, other than just anything that I enjoy. But still, like I do get a lot of, I realize that I love horses. They're one of my favorite land animals because they're the first creature, the first animal that I ever met in my entire life when I was living in Thousand Oaks, California. And in the apartment complex, they happen to have like horses. And so I literally formed bonds with like these two horses, Sugar and Candy. And it's just, those two girls, they're amazing. I love them so much. And I was like a toddler, and one of them was so ornery, no one could get near her. But she would lie down and let me get into the pen and pet her. Like, she hated people, but she loved me. And so it's like, and I only know this because there was pictures of me, like actual, like the disposable camera kind of pictures that I have. I'm not going to bring them out now though, but, and family members and neighbors like telling me as I'm growing up, like, yeah, it was crazy. They may be one of my favorite animals, but I do collect a lot of like tigers and kitties, but also lots of birds of prey and like falcons and hawks and owls, especially owls. So like I collect a lot of that stuff, and so I realize I do that with a lot of animals. I love animals, so I collect a lot of animal stuff. But like little rubber duckies, those are they're just so cute. I love them. So how can I be like no for their collection when, I mean, theirs is a little bit more expensive. Most of the time, a ducky thing is going to be like around $1 to $1.50 at most, depending on like how big the ducky is, and the like if it's a certain character or something like that. Theirs is going to be a little bit more expensive. Theirs is anywhere between like usually $3 to $5 each. But I mean, it's also a plushie that's kind of much bigger. So anyway, that's like, but they have lots of other kind of plushies. They each have like a snake plushie. They each have, there's this thing at Walmart one time where there's these giant like pillow kind of plushies. And of course my oldest got a unicorn and my youngest got a dragon because he didn't like unicorns back then. So it's, yeah, but I've had this discussion with them where, they have asked me like, why do you still have plushies? And I'm like, because they're a comfort item. Because I enjoy it, because it makes me feel happy. If I'm having an especially rough day, it's there for me. It's not going to judge me. It's not going to tell me to grow up. It's not going to tell me that I don't have a right to be upset, or it could be worse, or any other of the BS that you hear all the time. So, I mean, I didn't say BS to my kids, but the word, but you know what I'm saying. But yeah. And so I wanted to show some of my plushies, some of my comfort items that just make me feel safe and calm whenever I'm really upset. Like, I can't describe why, but today I was really upset, like internally upset, because nothing like really bad happened today. It really was just, slept in, because I always sleep in on the weekends, because I'm catching up on sleep from the week that I missed, or just in general, because I deal with insomnia and being more of a night owl than anything. I'm either reading, I'm crafting, or I'm researching something or whatever the case may be. I'm doing something for at least 2 to 3 hours after the kids have gone to bed before I even lie down and try. Sometimes don't succeed. Sometimes it's just me lying there with my eyes closed resting, even if I can't actually sleep. Very hard for me to get into deep sleep. That might be part of the trauma, but anyway, because I mean, like, that might be part of the reason why I don't go to deep sleep anymore. But it's just difficult for me to fall asleep. So even if I'm feeling safe, I have to convince myself that I'm safe. I have to convince myself that I am okay, that nothing bad's going to happen, that no one's going to come, nothing is going to hurt me. Unfortunately, that's like a common occurrence. Like, I need to convince myself that nothing bad's going to happen, that I will be safe, that I'll be okay, that my kids will be okay. Like, this is a constant fear, a constant anxiety. And so having plushies that could, give me some sort of comfort, that assists me in trying to sleep, or at least resting without being on alert all the time. So I have plushies that surround me around my bed. So, yeah. So I wanted to show some of those today. I will start though with a brand new one, and I'm not gonna lie, I did not expect to get this plushie. So like today I slept in, I totally derailed from that, but today I slept in and then got up, went out with the boys to try a new eatery, a local eatery that I'd been meaning to try but hadn't. It was really good. For security reasons, for like safety reasons, I'm not going to tell what the establishment is, where it's at, or anything like that, because I can't give away our location. But it was really good, so I was really happy that we tried it. Both the boys ate almost all their food. Well, actually, no, my youngest ate all of his food, and I have not been as hungry the past couple weeks. Now, I have been also working out a bit more, and so my everything's fluctuated because I'm like trying to build muscle and burn that fat, and so like I'm doing it on doctor's orders, and I'm doing modified exercises that aren't too strenuous for me, but it's kind of thrown my everything kind of awry. So because my body's not used to that. So yeah, we were out and about, we're doing things, and so I decided to go to the Goodwill that was by us, and because I was trying to look for something like, thrifting something. Sorry, I'm really yawny. It's sad because like I will yawn a lot, and you think, oh, that means she's tired. Like, maybe, but I still can't sleep even when I try. Anyway, so I was trying to like thrift something specific. I didn't find it. I found a couple other great finds, but what I did find was a plushie that I did not expect to really love. Like, I didn't expect this. So this is the plushie. Got the cute little tail in the back, but it's not the whole unicorn thing. It's just that this is the girliest thing that I've ever owned, and that's not including Lisa Frank, okay? Because Lisa Frank was a whole thing back in the day, all right? So like when I was in middle school, like Lisa Frank was the thing, all right? So it's I'm not talking about that. But this, so like, just aside from Lisa Frank, so I'm just putting that in its own category that everyone was obsessed with. It didn't matter who you were. But I've never really been into girlyish, or what society deems as girlyish, anything. And I also really do not like pink for like myself. I don't like wearing anything with pink. I don't like, which is weird because like I'm actually considering cosplaying certain characters that have a lot of pink. So I'm like, I don't know why, but it doesn't look good on me. I've always been like, I love the color blue. I love the darker aspect. I love the goth, the punk, all this stuff. I don't like what is considered very girly, and pink and pretty and all that kind of stuff, which also is contrasting to the whole me being obsessed with Sailor Moon. But you don't have to be like pretty and pink and all that kind of stuff to really love Sailor Moon. But it's just, this is the most pink and most anything that would resemble something girly, I guess, that I've ever owned. But the moment I saw it, I immediately wanted it, and I was like, I have to have this. Like, just, and like, the first thing I do whenever I'm doing any kind of plush, like buying a plush, and I do this with the ones I get the boys too. So I will always like feel it. I have to do this with all clothes, with all anything. I have to always feel it. I have to always like make sure that it is the right texture, the right, for plushies, the right buoyancy. And so, and then I hugged her, and oh my gosh, like it felt amazing. Like it feels really awesome just like hugging her right now. And I immediately knew that I wanted to name her Happiness. But I wanted to try to name her Happiness in another language. And because I was trying to learn Korean, I was like, oh, what's Korean for happiness? And I can't pronounce it. That's why I have this, like, you can see it in my glasses. Like, I have it pulled up, and maybe you'll pick this up, but is it because and people are like, oh, you shouldn't rely on the Romanized anything, and I'm like, I can't do the actual written. I can't. Like, my brain looks at that and says, no, we will not. This is not happening. And I cannot, because I tried learning writing an alphabet that way, and so I'm trying a different approach where I'm looking at Romanized and I'm listening, and I'm kind of getting my brain to accept that's a different noise than what I'm used to in English. And it's very hard. But I just can't do the written. I can't learn the written thing. Like, literally, I would start crying. Last year I started crying a bit, so it was really hard. But I know I can't pronounce this. So it's like hang. Is it the G? Because the way it's Romanized, it's HAENGBOK. And I know that it would be a soft, almost silent K, but not quite a K, like the hard K that you hear in English. But Hengo, is it go? Go? Like, it's like a harder G? Or am I supposed to be combining the GB, and how do I do that? You know, so like that's where I ran into frustration there. I was like, so I know I'm like not pronouncing it correctly. Hangle. I think. I don't know. Probably not. So because I'm very inept at this, she's just Happiness in English. And I know it says love in English there. I don't want to name her Sarang. I don't want to name her that. Because it's not like, she doesn't give me love. Like, love could give you happiness, sure, but she herself, and it's a she for me, is, because it feels like a she. Like, I have boy, girl, non-binary, like, plushies. It's whatever. And this one feels like a girl to me. So, but she's Happiness to me. Like, that was the immediate emotion, was happiness upon like seeing her and hugging her. And so like, I wanted to name her something cool, but like in another language, like, yeah, but I can't. As I said, I'm inept with this. Absolute failure. I'm trying, but I'm not getting it. So, but I love her so much. I've been hugging her because I've just had this really sad emotion inside today. It's just like, you just get these kind of emotions out of nowhere. And I don't know exactly if it's something that I was feeling and just internalizing from something recent, or if it's something from the past that's kind of, being brought up again, like grief or something. I don't know. I don't know the root of it. I don't know from which direction it is coming. I just know that I was pretty sad today, that just I felt that kind of, it wasn't even like a heaviness. It was just that it was there. It was settled and it existed. So it didn't feel like heavy. It didn't feel exactly draining either. It just felt like it was there. There was just this sadness, and I didn't like that. And I wanted to, I didn't know what I was looking for exactly when it came to how to comfort myself. I've been trying to recognize comfort things in therapy with my VA therapist, and I really love her because she motivates me to seek the root of whatever is upsetting me, because a lot of times I don't know how to verbalize or express exactly what is upsetting me, what is hurting me or making me sad or angry or whatever. Sometimes I don't even have a word for the emotion, and I'm just overwhelmed, overstimulated, just super, and but I don't know. It's not even that I don't know like the emotion sometimes. It's just, where is this coming from and why? And so she motivates me and honestly challenges me to be more critically thinking, like to be more of a critical thinker in this aspect. Like I can do critical thinking and problem solving with a lot of things in life, but myself, no. So she's been pushing me to do that. But in this case, I just couldn't critically think. It's like my mind blanked, and I didn't even know if I was trying to seek something to comfort myself, or if I just wanted to get past whatever it was and then get home, and then, because the boys weren't like upset, and we weren't like nothing, there's no like feeling of imminent danger or anything. It was. And so I'm going through Goodwill looking for something else. Actually for my Belle cosplay. Like I was trying to see like, okay, this is what I have in mind, and then I want to alter it. I ended up with a new dress that has nothing to do with the Belle one that I'm trying to create. I fit it though, and it looks awesome. And I love it. And so I love that I got it for like really cheap. But as I'm going through and I'm coming to get the boys in the toy section, all of a sudden happiness pops up, and it was happiness when I saw her. So anyway, that's how happiness came to be in the family. But let me show you some of the others. So I'm going to show this one first because this one has a very special meaning to me. This is not the original, sadly. But I had the exact same type of dinosaur as this, except it was dark. Like it was like this kind of blue, except it was this dinosaur. And I had this when I was a little girl, but the blue version. And I had that up until through high school, and then even a little bit after high school, actually, after my dad remarried my stepmom, and I was getting ready to go to the Navy. So it was 2009, and I was or 2008, because I did the delayed entry program, the DEP program. So I signed up and signed away everything in 2008, but I didn't leave until 2009. But between 2008 and 2009, I was cleaning everything. I was getting rid of stuff. I was donating stuff. I was trying to condense as much as possible. So there was like practically nothing left because, well, my dad wasn't going to keep it in his house. And it was I had to move back home many times. Like I was fairly independent and pretty decent with money on my own, but it was really hard. So I've gone back and forth, and so basically I had a lot of stuff that he hadn't quite moved or gotten rid of or anything, and I happened to still have the blue dinosaur. And originally it was in a pile of donate, because I was like, maybe some other little kid would really love this. But it was a comfort item. Like it was the comfort item for me growing up, that I have actually had that dinosaur since I was a little girl. And it survived through the 4 years of hell living with my mom during my parents' divorce and custody battle. It survived everything. And so it was very important to me. I went back and I asked my stepmom, can you please take it out for me? Because I had to go, and I had to go do something. I think it was, I had to go do like some training or whatever, because I still had to do like, you know, training and exercise and try to get, you know, build up strength, because I could definitely not run the 1.5 miles very well when I started the DEP program. I was really terrible at long distance running. So like the push-ups and sit-ups, I had to work on that too, which I eventually got great at, but the 1.5 miles was really tough on me because I'm more of a sprinter instead of long distance. So I believe it was one of those kind of training days, and I asked her, can you please take this out? Like I had to run out the door to, you know, I didn't have a car, so I had to catch the bus. And so I was like, can you please take this out? I would like to keep it because I changed my mind. And she didn't. And it wasn't that she didn't hear me. I confirmed that she heard me. But my stepmom is not a good person. She's literally like not a good person, and she's just awful to a lot of people. So, and my sister and I and many other people outside of her family even warned my dad about it, because she was not a good person. And so I fully believe that she purposely left it in the donate bag. And so that dinosaur is gone forever. I tried in vain to search, and I had no idea what the name of it was. And it wasn't until recently that I have had a decent enough relationship with my dad to ask about that dinosaur. And he happened to remember. I didn't talk about my stepmom, you know, not taking it out of the bag, but I asked, like, what was that dinosaur? Do you remember that dinosaur, that blue dinosaur that I had, that long-necked dinosaur when I was a little girl? That was donated before I joined the Navy. And he's like, yeah, I remember. I was like, where did you get it? And so he said he got it at Mervin's. But there, like, when I was looking online, because there was actually a thread last year where people were talking about finding stuffed animals that they had as kids, and like comfort items and stuff that may have been lost or whatever, or finding a replacement for something that might have been destroyed. So I was like, maybe I should try this too, because that was like a big deal to me. So I eventually, like, I kept looking and searching. There were people who were trying to help me, and like the ones that they were looking at, like, was it like this? And I was like, no, it's not like this. I found an image of this, and I was like, that's it, except it was like blue. I couldn't find another blue one. That's okay. Green is still one of my favorite colors, so it's like my second favorite. And this is like a darker green, so that's perfect. So I named this one what I had named my dinosaur when I was a kid, and that's Sarah. Sarah was, Sarah was the name of the dinosaur. So this is practically brand new. Like, someone like had vintage stuffed animals that they're selling, and yeah, it cost well over $100. I don't care. I budgeted it. Like, I literally moved money around and was like, I know I was saving up for this, but that's not a priority. This is, to me, was a priority, because this was like exactly like my Sarah when I was a little girl. So yeah, so that's like a huge comfort item. So that is always, you know, on my bed. This was something that my dad got me a while ago. Her name is Yumi. So that's my little, I think it was at was it the San Diego Zoo or Wild Animal Park? I don't remember exactly, but it was in San Diego. So he got this for me when I was like a teenager. So, a recent one, Ian, like I did this in a video, finally found a bowler steer that's blue and silver and sparkly, which I love, because these, like I've said in other videos, like, I don't put like great stock in like the whole horoscope or numerology or anything. It's just for fun. But like, I'm a Taurus, and finding anything that's Taurus that's blue, my favorite color, is almost unheard of. So, oh, sorry, I was gonna put that down, but anyway, yeah, so I finally found this. So that's Ian. I do not have a name for this one. They are simply existing. They're the comfy. I guess you could just call them comfy, but they are comfy. They are comfy. They're the buoyancy is almost the same as happiness, but maybe a little more frumpled because of the years I've had this one. Actually, I think I got comfy. There we go. This is the naming video. This is comfy now. So they have been with us for years. I don't remember when I got them. I got them like years ago when my boys were younger. I think I got for one of my kids, but they said they didn't want them anymore, so I got them. So there. And then I definitely love sea creatures, so I got yeah. Yeah, so these are let's see, wait, 2, 4, 6. Yeah, okay, so they're both octopuses. I was about to say like it's not shaped like a squid. So this one was for Mother's Day like some years ago, like almost 3 years ago. So it's one of those like reversible ones. So here's like the nerdy one, which I loved it because it was glasses like me. But then you switch it out and there's the angry side and it's like a darker blue. It's so soft though. But this is Emmy. And yeah, actually I'm just gonna leave Emmy the angry face because it's been a while since I've seen the angry face, and even when angry she's adorable. This is Stella. I had this in one of my other videos I think I showed, but yeah, sometimes I like to put Stella like on my head just because like it's like not too heavy, but just like having that like small weight on the head. And yes, makes a great hat, doesn't it? Yeah, I like Stella. I impulse bought her, of course, because like she's dark blue. This is like one of my favorite blues, so it's perfect. And then last but not least, for the ones that are in my bed, because I have lots of other plushies that are put away. Some are the ones from my dad, and then others that I got while in the Navy, and I just keep them safe. But so I got this one a long time ago. Cecilia is what I named her. And I don't know why, I liked the name Cecilia. So I saw her and I was like, she's so cute. And then sometime like the next year after, I found him and I decided to call him Hans my Hedgehog. If you don't know, Jim Henson's a storyteller. It aired when I was like a baby. So like, I didn't watch it until years later when there was like reruns, and my mom was really into mythology and storytelling and all that kind of stuff. Honestly, she's the reason why I got into reading and books and fairy tales and all that kind of stuff. But I loved Hans my Hedgehog from the Storyteller. Like I swear I have the book somewhere. I don't remember where I put, like I have a whole bunch of my books over there, so I haven't like looked through them in a while. I'm not talking about like TBR or anything too. It's just books in general. And then I have like the Storyteller like on DVD somewhere. I don't remember where. And they have a lot of great stories as well, but Hans my Hedgehog was my favorite out of that. I mean, it's definitely got like Beauty and the Beast elements, so I mean, maybe that's not such a stretch on why I love it, but still. So this is Hans my Hedgehog. And so, because I already named her Cecilia, like I can't remember, what was the princess's name in that? I don't remember. I think she was just like the princess. I don't think like did she have a name? I'd have to look that up, but yeah, so Cecilia was already named, but Hans my Hedgehog. So that's like another, I guess, look into me as a person, like the kind of things. Like I'm really into fairy tales. I'm really into fantasy. I'm really into romance and just, yeah, no, I'm really into all that stuff. And it just, oof. So yeah. I have these set up a certain way, like right along the wall, and then there's my pillow, and then over here I have like Emmy, so she's kind of like the bridge between my pillow and bed and my little drawer thing that has, stuff on it, like my phone and everything else. I have no idea where I'm going to put happiness. I will find a way, but they feel like my sentinels. It feels like they're watching over me. Like, that's really honestly what it feels like when I have these plushies by me. I also have, like, well, it's dirty now because I accidentally spilled a bunch of stuff on it. Like, I shouldn't have, but I had some iced coffee. Well, technically chilled. I didn't put ice in it, but because I always get, whenever I brew coffee, I have like an entire pot, and I'm the only one in the house like that's drinking coffee, so I will brew an entire pot, and whenever I don't drink in the morning or whatever, I'm working or something, I have like a big cup that, like, after I let it cool, I'll have a big cup that I'll put that in, and then I'll put it in the fridge. And then if I have enough left over, I'll also have, like, I have these ice cube trays that have like rubber underneath them so you can pop them up, like kind of circular, and I will put leftover coffee in that, so it's like coffee cubes, so because I can drink coffee iced or cold, like iced or hot, it doesn't matter what season. That's just, I can also do the same with tea, but coffee's still my number one go-to, but I drink tea a lot as well. Mostly Arizona iced tea, if it's like canned or something from the store, that's my go-to. But I have a bunch of other tea that I'll brew at home. I have like a whole thing of like different teas and different flavors, and then I've got my Death Wish coffee, the dark roast and the espresso. So like that's it. Like, that's the only kind of coffee, but then I've got like a whole bunch of tea. Anyway, I was drinking coffee and I happened to have the pillow nearby, and I just happened to spill it. So it's dirty right now, but I have like this little rectangular pillow that has Belle on it, of course. And something about dreamers or dreams or something like, what is it? I don't know. It's over there across the room. I'm not going to go get it because I don't feel like getting up. I don't even feel like pausing to go get it up, like just to get up and go get it. No. So that's also like in between here. Like, there's like this section right here that I like. This area right here is where Emmy and that pillow go, is kind of like, so I don't accidentally bang my hand on my phone or anything on the drawer. So yeah. Anyway, that's kind of the topic I wanted to discuss, like just the idea of comfort items, the idea of something that makes you feel safe, makes you feel watched over, makes you feel secure. And I think that a lot of people could, I'm not going to say it's not going to like cure anything. It's not going to make certain emotions go away. It's not going to be a catch-all. But it can greatly assist someone if they are having difficulties with something. It can definitely help calm you down. I know that there are some people who maybe have like a certain stone or rabbit's foot or like a keychain or something, or just an item that means something to them. And so that's like their go-to item. So I know that like these definitely are my go-tos. I was very happy when I found Sarah. Like, she may not be blue like when I was a little girl, but I missed her so much. So that, I'm trying not to cry because that was a lot. But yeah, today was really just internally, it was awful. I was really upset, and I couldn't pinpoint why. I was sad. I was really sad. Like, sometimes that happens. Sometimes I just get emotional for seemingly no reason that has nothing, it seems to have nothing to do with me. Like, there's nothing going on in my life that is particularly sad at this point. I don't know. Someone tried to tell me that it means that I'm connected with someone, or maybe like I, feel things that other people are feeling, and I guess I don't quite buy into that. And that's not because I'm not like, I believe there's plenty of things out there that could be spiritual or whatever, but I don't really quite. Maybe it's because I've never had a proper bond with anyone like that, other than certain specific close friends. I don't know. I don't know why I have these emotions sometimes. And I know that it's different than my trauma, because when it comes to my trauma, like, a lot of times there's flashbacks associated with it. A lot of times there's like a specific, like, this reminds me of this. I'm upset because, like, I will see something and be like, nope, and it's immediate, like, this is because of this. That's why I'm upset. It's very instant for me, recognizing when it comes to being trauma related. It's because I've been very self-aware, very intuitive with that kind of stuff for a long time. Maybe because I'm the kind of person that likes to face things and push and try to overcome it. I've had this kind of mentality of, like, are you ready? No, but I'll do it anyway. And I did that a lot in the Navy, but that was kind of my mentality with a lot of stuff, because it's like, it doesn't matter if I think I'm ready or not. I may never be ready for whatever it is, but I'll do it anyway. I have to. I don't really have a choice. Like, some people talk about choices when it comes to certain things, and some things there are no choice. It's just simply, are you going to do it or are you not going to do it at this time? But it's not going to make the thing go away. You're still going to have to do it. So are you going to do it now or are you going to do it later? And so I've had that mentality. And so if anyone ever asks me, like, are you ready? My usual go-to response is no, but I'll do it anyway. And so that's kind of been my way of, I'm the kind of person that will push through. I'm the kind of person that will face things whether I like it or not, whether I'm scared, whether I'm upset. This has to happen, so I do it. And I'll be scared the entire time, but I'll still do it. That's how I was in the Navy, because I had to brief, and I have trouble with, like, public speaking. I have severe issues with public speaking. I'm very terrified. Like, I am already, like, an introvert, but that's not, like, I can be social with people even as an introvert. I can be social with people even being, like, autistic and having ADHD. I get drained afterwards, and so I do have to recharge. That's my introvert side. But specifically public speaking, where the light is on me, where people are paying attention to me, like, in that moment, that's different than what I'm doing here. I had to do that all the time in the Navy because I was a briefer, because I was intel, because I put together the intel product, the what I was briefing. Like, I had to put all the information together, so I knew it best. And sometimes you had to brief people's intel products that you didn't put together, but you have to go off of their notes and their intel because of whatever reason. You have to adapt. You have to adapt on the fly. And it's scary as hell. It is so scary. But I always had to do it because that was my job. I took that very seriously. But in life in general, that's been my mentality. So I think that's the only reason I survived those 8 years that I was in. Because of that mentality. So I have kept that mentality when it comes to going through therapy or physical therapy too. Like, anytime I had to go through physical therapy with something, not just like now, like, I have a lot of mobility. I have a lot of stuff going on that I didn't before, after having some physical therapy recently. Yes, I'm in limbo right now because the VA is not approving for further, physical therapy, but I need it. But I still made great strides and a lot of great progress in only a few weeks because I put the effort in, because it's like, I'm in pain. I don't like this, but I have to do it because this is what's going to make it better. And I tried that in the Navy, but they also did not do, like, practically any of the things that these civilian therapists are doing. But that mentality is that I will face things, I will get through this, I will recognize, I will do the research, I'll put the time in to know and see what is going on. So anytime, I know, big lead up, but anytime I have emotions that I can't describe. I can't even pinpoint the root of. That it's just this weird feeling that just comes on suddenly. I don't think it's related to any sort of trauma, because even if there are some things I haven't quite talked about or gone over with my current therapist when it comes to more recent trauma, which is like with my ex-husband and stuff, I have had to face everything leading up to it. And yeah, I talk about it a lot in these videos, and I'm doing that on purpose. Like, I'm talking about it because I do not want to ever be quiet about it. I have a voice, I'm going to use it. I'm not going to stop talking about it. But I still have worked through a lot of the trauma when I was a kid. And it is cathartic to, cathartic? How do you pronounce it? I can't pronounce anything today. Oh my gosh. I couldn't do that in the last video either. I'm tired, but, anyway, therapeutic. I'll just use that word. Therapeutic. It's been very therapeutic to say it out loud in these videos, but I've done the work on all the stuff in my childhood and the last 20 years, and so like I've gone through and I've pushed through with that. But even if I haven't pushed through everything or gone through everything when it comes to the most recent stuff with my ex-husband, I still recognize it. I know what it is. I have this feeling because of this reason. I avoid this because of that one time with, whatever, with him. But there are these emotions sometimes that crop up like just out of the blue, and there doesn't seem to be a basis for them, a reason for them. I'm sorry, I'm going to close this because that's been, sorry. You've been like staring at in my glasses for the longest time. I'm so sorry. Like, you probably saw Nezuko because that is my background screen for my laptop. But anyway, yeah, I can't describe some of these emotions that are out of the blue, literally so random. And today was one of those days with that. And so I've been holding on to happiness a lot, but I've also just kind of been surrounded by my other comfort items. I did do quite a bit of exercise earlier. Low impact, but still very exhausted from that. But as soon as I was done, like, with whatever set I was doing, I immediately got on my bed, and I'm just like surrounded by the stuffed animals, and I was just like, I'm gonna lay my head on one of them. I'm just gonna be like holding happiness. I'm just gonna be like, okay. Because my body does not like this feeling, because I haven't been able to exercise a lot over the years. Make progress here. And then it went away, and then I came back, and then, yeah. So I've been up and down fluctuating when it comes to my body weight, my body shape, all that kind of stuff. But I finally found a fairly decent fit in exercise that I can do that's low impact and still breaks a sweat. Like, I still actually get sweaty, and like I'm actually working out. Just, it's not as intensive as some other exercises. So I do have like this, I've had this for years, so like I have a Gold Gym like step, like an actual step, so I've got that. So I use that. I have the little like pedal thing, like the foot pedal thing, and I have that usually under my desk, so I'm like doing that while I'm working. So if I need to fidget or if I need to like move or whatever, I will do that. And also because it kind of tones the calves quite a bit. But I will bring that out, and I will just stand, and I'll do it like as I'm standing. So it's like I'm, moving, like I'm slight walking, but not really. So that helps too. But I do it for a longer period of time than just like a few here or there. So it's not even just a set. It's just like I will set the timer for like 10 minutes, get some water, go back for another 10 minutes, get some water. So like I'm trying to strengthen myself. I'm trying to do better. But even like sometimes in the past, like exercise helped with my mood. It helped like that movement. That's why I loved capoeira. That's why I love the sparring, where I loved like the movements and the flow. It felt natural. It felt right. It was just so amazing. And it brightened everything for me. I really miss, like, I can't physically do things like capoeira anymore, sadly. I miss it so much. But because that was the martial arts that I really connected with. My sister did taekwondo and she got up to black belt. I don't remember what degree, but just black belt. But yeah, capoeira was mine, and so I miss that. I miss that movement. I miss that rhythm. I miss just everything made sense and connected. Everything was just perfection when I was doing capoeira. That was the kind of movement that was just like a mood boost. Exercise itself, mood boost, but when you have a bunch of illnesses or injuries or something that's chronic, and chronic fatigue on top of that because of whatever medicines you're taking, because of another condition and stuff, it takes its toll on you. So my body's been through the ringer, and so I'm slowly starting to get back into a lot of stuff, but I had to do it in sets of 5 minutes instead of 10 minutes today. And because it just, that overwhelming sadness was just too much. So I've been seeking my bed and my stuffed animals, my plushies, a lot as soon as we got home today. Thankfully, this has become sort of the norm for my kids and I. So anytime they're really upset or they seek comfort on their bed or their particular stuffed animal or their certain item or whatever, I'll ask, are you okay? And if I see that they have that item, they say, yeah, I just want to be here. And they don't have to explain more. Like, we don't ask each other to go into great detail or anything, because it's just kind of like, I get it. Like, you need that comfort item because there's something unexplainable, but you're upset. So you want that comfort. And so because they also go through that, today when I was like lying there and I had my headphones on because I was listening to my CD player, and I had a couple songs on repeat. I had You and Unfair on repeat today a lot because those seemed to kind of calm me down today. So I was like listening to songs on repeat while lying down next to the plushies, and occasionally my youngest would come in and be like, are you feel comforted yet? And I'd be like, no, I'm still trying, because I'm still kind of upset and I still can't explain why. So he's like, okay, and then he went off and did his own thing or whatever. It's not because he needed me for anything. It's not because like there was an emergency or he was hungry or something. Like both kiddos have snacks and food available that they can go get that I don't have to cook. So, and then we also had like a really big meal earlier when we went out to eat. So it's not, they weren't like starving or anything. They had access to stuff. They have all the toys they could possibly want. And actually my youngest was obsessively going through all his Lego sets. Like, my dad sent 2 Sonic the Hedgehog Lego sets for his birthday, so he was playing with that. He put them together in less than 2 hours, both of them, both sets, and building like half of this great castle thing that he was doing. Like, he did the whole Minecraft cube thing that my dad sent, like one for each of them for Christmas. So they each got that, like, you build like the little like cube Minecraft design thing. So he built that all by himself, like almost completely by himself. I helped a couple times, but just because there were certain things that he couldn't like snap really well because he didn't have the strength, because his fingers are so tiny still. He's only 7 years old, but he's just, so I had to help. I had a little bit more strength in my left arm, so I was like, okay. But he dismantled that because he has a lot of other regular Legos that he's combining with it, because he's building this epic castle for an epic battle. That's the most he's told me. I don't know what else is going on. He'll reveal it in due time when he's done. But yeah, he was, so they have things to occupy. Oldest was playing Minecraft on, his laptop, and then they've got video games they want to. So like, they're occupied. They don't need me for anything. Today's like was mostly a chill day. So I got to kind of, decompress a little bit with my comfort items, with my plushies. A lot of times if something is going on, and my kids don't know how to explain it. It's not that I'm putting words in the mouth. I'm just asking, like, to clarify, like, was it this or was it this? Because you've said this in the past, or you acted like this was the reason why in the past. And so sometimes we'll go through a list of what is upsetting you, and I do that only because I'm trying to figure out how it can help them. Sometimes they don't have the words to use. Sometimes they just don't know. They're upset. So if they don't happen to have a comfort item with them, I will go find one. If we're in the house, usually though, they have some sort of fidget thing or some sort of like small, like keychain or small keychain, like plushie keychain that they have, that, that they bring, that they have some in the car, they have some in their school backpacks. Like, so we have like little items that, that we reach for comfort if we're ever upset. Youngest especially has, I think, 2 squishy, like fidget things for comfort. Like I have a Neato whenever I need to stretch and squish and stuff. So this is one of my comfort items, but I didn't feel like stretching or squishing today. It just wasn't. I just needed the comfort of like a hug. So sorry, this is a very long video to describe something very, well, it doesn't seem simplistic to me, but it might seem simplistic to other people. So yeah, anyway, wanted to share that. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who have the same, like they've got like plushies or comfort items that bring them joy or relief. Honestly, I guess something I really want to impart is there's no shame in that. There's absolutely none. And you're never too old for something. It's really so dumb when people do that, when they try to be like, you're too old for this, you're too old for that. And it's like, you do know that there are people who are creating these toys for your kids, creating these things that you enjoy at an amusement park. Like, they're not too old, okay? Having a fascination or a joy in something, or collecting certain things, or studying certain topics because it's something that you really like, that some people, I just don't like the way that people critique or try to box off and say, oh, that's childish or that's that. No, it's human. It's beautiful. And there's no shame in something that brings you comfort. There's no shame in something that, gives you joy, gives you happiness. There's nothing wrong with that. And I also think it's dumb whenever people are like, the guys can't do this. Like, if you're a guy and you have a plushie or a blanket or whatever, or you have a comfort item, there's nothing wrong with that. It's so dumb the way that society has really pushed that only certain people can do this or that, or you have to be a certain age group, and it's so stupid. It really is. So if you are like me, whatever, gender, non-gender that you are, like, or age, and you've got a plushie or 2, or you have other comfort items, like that's fine. There's no shame in that. I've never been ashamed, actually. I've always been upset that people would try to shame others for it. But I've never been ashamed of actually having like plushies or comfort items, because it's a comfort, it's a relief, it's happiness, it's security, it's stability, it's something that centers me, that keeps me there at my core. Why should I be ashamed of that? It keeps me level. Would you rather I be completely unhinged? I've actually said that to someone. It was a keychain plushie, actually. I don't even remember which one it was, but it's this was in high school. And it was not the same person that was making fun of me for like the whole baby blanket thing or plushie. It was a different person. And it was on the city bus too. While they're just like, aren't you too old for that? That's so stupid. And they also were making fun of like one of my stickers on something, which was like an anime sticker. It was Dragon Ball. It was Dragon Ball Z actually. Because I had a Dragon Ball Z sticker on one of my binders with that like weird little S that everyone did back in like middle school and high school. But I had like a Dragon Ball Z sticker, and they were making fun of that. But they're also making fun of like this plushie keychain, and I'm just like, it's something that keeps me kind of sane, you know. Excuse me. And and they're just like, what are you talking about? That's dumb. And they're saying a bunch of other BS. I was like, would you rather I be unhinged? Would you rather I not be sane? Like, this keeps me level, buddy. Like, this is keeping me cool, all right? If you like, you can take it away and you can see how feral I can be. I think I was like 17 at the time. But yeah. I've always been chaotic. If you have not seen any of my other videos, I have always been sassy and chaotic and rebellious and whatever else society deems as, uncouth and not all there and whatever. The outsider kind of shit. So yeah. But yeah, there's nothing to be ashamed when it comes to this. There really isn't. So I can't stand it when people, I think that's where my upset is. That's where I'm sad or really pissed off, honestly, is the fact that people would still do that to others, that they would try to shame others for that. So if you have comfort items, you have plushies, you have a baby blanket that has been with you since you were a baby and you're in like your 50s now, you're older than me and you're, or you're my age and you're like almost to your 40s. That's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. Like there's nothing to be ashamed of. There's nothing to feel like guilt over or anything. If anyone tries to make you feel that way, that's a red flag. Get them out of your life. Don't go near them if you can help it, if you can avoid them. Sometimes if you're stuck in a certain job or whatever. But you know what I mean. Like if you can avoid them, if you can kick them out of your life, do it, because you don't need that kind of negativity. You want comfort items, get comfort items. Keep your comfort items. These items will last. Those people won't. They'll eventually go at some point. I know that's really morbid, but that's how I'm choosing to cope with this, okay? It's like, yeah, these will last. Those people won't. Kick them out of your life. They don't deserve you. All right. I will attempt sleep. Again, I actually tried to go to sleep early today, and that did not work. Mind is always racing. It's crazy Beauty and the Beast library labyrinth, like 100 times the size, and it's just, things are flying all over all the time. It's ridiculous. So I tried. I failed, and then I made this video. I will attempt again. Hopefully you're not like me and you're able to sleep when you're supposed to. And by supposed to, I mean when is best for your health, wherever you are. But yeah, so comfort items and lots of me talking, but hopefully this made someone feel better. If you've been feeling like guilty or feeling shame or feeling like, oh, I don't want to let people know, there's nothing wrong with this. So enjoy it. And I guess I'll talk to you later. So bye.